Well, good evening, Purposeful Productivity Community. It's Friday night, 6:30. Let's get to it. Welcome to the show. Tonight we're going to have a little fun. We're going to kick off our June series, and it's all about your productivity system. We've been talking about pieces and parts over the last few weeks, but now it's time to tie it all together. And why is that important? That's the question we're going to talk about tonight. And we're going to share the components of the system. What are the hardware, the software tools that you use to build and connect all of these disparate parts together to make you effective? Excited to have you here. Let's get to it. Tonight's show is the title of the show is Boost Your Output, because productivity is about creating value, right? So we want to get things out, create something, develop something, sell something, educate somebody. So it's all about what you produce. And tonight we're going to be uncovering some of those secrets that help you get there, because it's pulling it all together for you. So let's get right into it. But before we do, I want to just recognize that we do have some folks in the building with us tonight, and I'll come back to you. But I want to just kind of talk about the three things we're going to cover tonight a little bit more. We're going to talk about the benefits of having a system. We're going to talk about what are the components, as I said. And then I'm going to challenge you with a couple of questions, 2 or 3 common questions that you want to ask yourself and put into action as we begin to move into June. June is going to be exciting. Again, it's all about your productivity system. So start thinking now, what are my parts? What am I using? How does it work for me? And if you don't have a system that you rely on, by the end of June, you will have a system in place if you follow along and take action. So, who is in the building with us tonight? I'm going to say good evening to Tech Troublemaker, who's in the building with us tonight. Hey, Roy, how you doing? Glad to have you there. And of course, we have the emotional CEO with us. Yes, happy Friday, Live Tribe. And if you're not in the building tonight and you're listening, you're not commenting, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It's always wonderful to have you with us. And I know everybody doesn't come in and comment, but you're listening, and sometimes you reach out to me afterwards. That's fine. Later on, you can leave a comment after the video is done and updated. You can also reach out to me other ways, and we'll talk about that later, what some of those other ways are. Tech Troublemaker is causing trouble already. He's talking about here to learn how to be productive for a change. I tell you, my friends, So let's get right to this. We're going to talk about the system benefits, and I've covered this before, but I want to make sure that you get it, because if you don't know what's in it for me, then you may not be wanting to take some of the steps that we've been going through. And the benefits really are that you increase your output without increasing your stress. You don't add more to your plate. You actually get a handle on all of the things that you have going on in your life and all of the parts of your life. You have a working calendar. We'll talk about that one week. You have a working task management system. You all know, if you've ever heard me, I call it my action tracker. You have a working task management system. You have a working place where all of your notes and non-linear information is stored, where you can get back to it. You have a functional project management system. This is new. We haven't talked about project management, but you'll have a functional project management system that works for you. And then you may have other components that we add on depending on what your needs are. So if you are an adult, you have a business, you have a job, you have a career, you work with nonprofits, you work with a small team, or you just simply want to manage your home life in a more effective manner, the benefits of having a productivity system is allowing you to accomplish those goals that you set. So it's real simple, straightforward, don't need to spend a whole lot of time on it. The benefits are really reduce stress, get things done more efficiently, more effectively, and be able to move forward in your life. Now, let's talk a little bit. I named them, but let's just talk a little bit about the parts to the system. And the reason I want to talk about these in a little bit more detail is because this is where you will spend your time. The first part is a working calendar. And many people have a calendar. Many people have multiple calendars. The difference is having a calendar that works for you and having a calendar that you trust. So, I'll share that I have multiple calendars, and that has to do with the way I split up my parts of my life. I put all of my personal and home appointments and events and hard commitments on a home calendar. I put all of my business appointments and events and commitments on a separate calendar. And I have a completely separate calendar for my job. And so those are the core. And then I do have some volunteer work that I have calendars for. The difference is I use one system where I can see them all together, everything. I can see it across the board at one time so that I can work with it. That's a way to make a working calendar. Even if you use multiple calendars, you want to have them so that you can see all that you have made commitments to in a single place together. I'm going to take a quick break and say hello to someone who is in the building with us, none other than Mr. Walter Strong from the Huddle with Walter Strong III. Good evening, Live Tribe. Glad to have you here. So glad. And oh my goodness. Well, hello, Dagan. Glad to have you in the building as well this evening. Awesome, awesome, awesome that you all are here. I'm going to push myself out a little bit because I'm a little bit too close. And, oh my goodness, James Hicks is in the building with us this evening, James. So glad that you're here with us. So let's go back to, again, we were talking about the parts to our system, and the part that I've started with is your working calendar. It is the hub of everything else. If you don't know what your commitments are, you will be running all over the place. You'll miss them. You'll be late. You'll forget about them. It'll be, as the saying goes, a train wreck. So the first thing and the first component is figuring out your calendar portion of your system. Later on in the month, we're going to get into some examples of good calendar systems you can use or tools you can use, software that you can use, digital. The second is your task management system and what you use for that. And the reason it's important is we have 10 million things we can have to do. And if we try to keep them in our head, that is not beneficial because we don't. We don't keep that stuff in our head. We forget about it or we remember it at the wrong time. We remember that we need to buy eggs when we're doing laundry and nowhere near a grocery store. So having a very high quality task management tool that you use. Now, it doesn't have to be digital, but I'm going to focus on digital for this purpose because paper works great to allow you to focus. James Hicks, I'm coming. It allows you to focus. Paper does not allow you to put all parts of your life on a single page and try to manage from it. You got to get the long list, the hundreds, the 200, the 300 list of tasks that you need to manipulate and work into a digital system. And then when you're ready to focus in on the 2 or 3 things you want to accomplish a day, then you can move it out and just focus in on those few things that are critical for you on a given day. And great, I see the question. I'm going to answer questions. I'm definitely going to come back to that one because I do it all the time. About time blocking. And so a task management tool, we'll get into very specific examples. There's not one particular tool that will work for each person. There is a tool that will work for you as a person. If you try to use 4 or 5 different task managers, you might as well not have one at all. And it's because you're going to have your tasks spread across too many digital tools and you can't find them all and you can't see them all. So I'd submit for the digital part or the electronic part, figure out what that system is going to be, what that tool is going to be, and focus in on it and learn it really, really well. It can be as simple as you need it to be. It can be as complicated as you need it to be, and everything in between. The next component is your note-taking system. Now, some people don't want to think about note-taking because we take notes all the time. However, your note-taking system is all the things that come in. You're in meetings, you're on phone calls, you have thoughts, you have ideas, you want to draw mind maps, you want to sketch out the way a graphic will look. Those are notes that you want to have a place to put them and be able to get back to them quickly and find them. Trust me when I tell you, from someone who has had stuff spread all over the place, and then you're driving yourself crazy because you knew you drew a mind map or you knew you wrote a list someplace, but you don't know where you put it. Having a place that it all ends up is really important. When you're running a business or you're running a nonprofit or you're running a department, okay, you're gonna make me James Hicks misbehave tonight. Yes, I use mine daily. But when you have all of that information in one place that you can pull it up, it does relieve your stress because you haven't lost anything. You can always find it. And there are some really, really great tools or software products out in the market that you can use. One that I know some of the folks here use a lot is Notion. And shout out for Notion releasing their project management tool. I think it was this week that they released it. So we're going to move on to that because the last one is we all have projects that we work with. So you need a particular project management tool, not just a task manager. Task management and project management are very different. Projects, you've got a goal, you've got milestones, you've got budgets, you've got a scope, you've got a start and an end. Task is just a thing to do. And so if you have, or where you have a good project management solution, it will help you because those goals that you've set, those projects you have, those objectives that you have, you can see how to map them out and where they fit. And it's really, really good when you work with a team because now you have a place that your team is accountable because you can see and your team members can see who's accountable for what portion of the project, how much time they're going to take, how much money it's going to cost. And when they finish, did they achieve the goal or not? That's being productive. Did you achieve the goal? Not just did a bunch of stuff. Did you achieve the goal? And projects are where organizations move. Projects don't move keeping the lights on and running daily operations. Daily operations in your home, in your business, in your job, they are necessary and you absolutely have to do that. But the place that you move yourself, your business, your home, your job, is through executing projects. And so having a project management tool that you trust and rely on and you learn how to use will boost your output because you're not trying to figure it out all the time. You can lay it out and work through it. Everyone here who's in the building tonight, I'm so excited because there's some awesome people in the building tonight. And if you have feedback, thoughts, ideas of these core components, please share them because I want to share it with the rest of the community, especially the people who may see this on replay, because we all deal with all of these every day. But so many of the people who are here in the building with us tonight, I believe everybody is a business owner. And so you're moving your business, you are moving your business forward by executing projects week in and week out. You're moving your business forward by managing appointments with clients and potential clients and team members and suppliers every day. Guests on your show, you're moving your business forward and you've got to have these tools to be able to manage it. So I'm going to hop over and get some questions answered here. And I'm going to start back up here on a question from Mr. James Hicks, who said, what are your thoughts on the concept of time blocking? I love time blocking. And I do time blocking. And I'll share with you how, if I can manage the computer. I can manage systems. I can't manage this ECAM software. But I use time blocking the following ways. I use it to frame my week out in my calendar. So I have like a time blocking calendar that kind of lays on top of everything. And I can see where my business time is, where my spiritual time is, where my home time is. And I'm pretty unmovable with those times. I've got some very defined blocks of time when I work. For example, I block Friday evenings after the show to do a debrief and a review of the show. Pretty unmovable. There are very few things that will stop me from doing that. And I've got that time blocked and coded into my calendar system. I have Friday afternoons blocked for relaxing, reviewing, and prepping for the show. It's in my calendar. I have my morning routine time blocked in my calendar. I have family relationship time blocked in my calendar because having so many different parts of your life to manage, if you don't, you won't have clarity on what you got going on. And it also frees you up. James, I know that you're in enterprise technology. That could consume you all 1,440 minutes a day. So if you don't block out time for your family, for other parts of your business, you won't get anything done. You won't move those projects forward. You won't write another book because you haven't blocked the time out to do it. So you can see ahead of time, every week, week by week, and month by month, where am I putting the time? I'm writing another book. Where am I going to do that? Where's my writing time? It doesn't say what you're writing. It just says, this is my writing time. If your writing time and you determine you're going to do writing an hour every day, you need to see it and block it out. Even if you move the physical time, let's say you want to write from 10 to 11 in the morning, but something happens, you got to take the car to the shop, just pick something. Then you can see, okay, I've got to move this writing time someplace else to get this hour in. Absolutely critical. If I didn't answer your question or if you have a follow-up, please throw it in chat. I want to make sure that I'm addressing your questions. If there are any other questions, I don't see any other questions right now. I do want to address a comment by someone because this can be a roadblock. Frank and Tech Troublemakers say they're terrible note takers. I'm going to yell at you a little bit in a nice way. And what I'm going to yell at you about is being kind to yourself first. We're talking about boosting your output in your productivity system. You got to learn to be kind to yourself. We're all on a journey. We all have skills that we can learn or we can refine. Learning to work with your systems is exactly that. It is a practice. You can get 1% better every day. That doesn't mean you're terrible. It means you've gotten 1% better every day. There are so many ways to take notes that you can use. Many people, I believe, think note-taking is handwriting or typing. If those are not your skills, use voice recording. It's still valid note-taking. You have to go back and listen to it, but it's valid note-taking. There are other ways to take notes. There's something called sketchnoting, which is drawing pictures and words together. If you are a visual person and pictures speak to you, draw pictures. Doesn't mean you're terrible. It means it's your way of doing it. Your system, however, whether it's audio, handwritten, typed, take a picture with a camera, whatever it is, your note-taking system has to be able to handle all of those types of media for you so that you can get back to it quickly, know where it is, and know what it is. That's the key. Whether it's typed, whether it's outlining, whether it's a paragraph form, whether it's, I'm seeing it, mind maps. I was seeing mind maps and I couldn't get the word out. If it's mind maps, which are great, I know someone who does almost all their note taking as a mind map. Freaks me out when I see it, but it works for that person because they think in 1 or 2 word snippets and they just draw it out on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and that's their notes. So there's so many different ways. There's not one way of taking notes. The key is, once you take them all, where are you putting them so that you can get back to them? Fast, easy, without friction. That's the key. So the questions you want to ask yourself is, what's your personality style? Some common questions to ask yourself when you're thinking about your system. What is your personality? Meaning, are you a pretty structured person? Are you a creative person? Are you, I'm going to say this because it's so true, because some of us are. Are you a hot mess person? Really, truly, are you a hot mess person? But figure out, record it, write it down, draw a picture of it, do whatever you got to do, but be real with yourself and acknowledge what is your personality, because that personality, your system has to work with the personality as you are, not who someone else says you should be, not what you think you should be, but really truly how you are. I am a very structured person in most things, and I know that about myself. And so I have to have structure in my system. The places in my life, I'm not perfect, y'all. Let me just tell you, my brother would tell you she ain't perfect. But the places in my life that are important to me, I am really structured. But that's the way I think. Other people don't. My brother is the exact opposite. He is the true creative. They both work. Our systems work for the way we work and the way we think. The other question you want to ask yourself is, what kind of environment do you work in? This means, so I want you to get these questions down because this is going to inform the decisions on what tools you pick. Do you work alone? Do you work with other people? Do you live alone? Do you live with other people? Can you work in noise? Do you have to work where it's silent? What is the environment that you're in? I don't work well in a noisy place. So generally, with a few exceptions when I'm working, there's no radio, no television, unless there's something that I want to learn. Now, I'll tell you a lot of times, I will turn on and listen to most all the creators who are in the building with me tonight. I will listen to something that they've put out, especially if they're going over something that I'm trying to learn. I'll turn that on, and for some reason, because it's educational, I can listen to it and it doesn't mess with my brain. But anything else messes with my brain and I get lost. So figure out what your environment is, your physical environment. I have to have a desk. I have to have certain tools around me. I have my candle going all the time. Those are important to me. Figure out what that is for yourself, because these inform whether you will accept what you put together as your system. If you are a person who doesn't think linearly, then a linear note-taking system is not going to work for you because your brain doesn't work that way. You got to use something that works the way your brain works. So, we got some other folks in the building, so let's say hello to them. I did see Denise Jordan from This and That with Denise Jordan. Hello, young lady. So glad that you're with us this evening. And yes, she does speak the truth. If you don't make time for it, it won't happen. If you don't make time for it, it won't happen. And thank you, James, for saying you love hearing that I'm conscious about time blocking. Believe it or not, the other thing that I do, I mix a lot of systems together. That's why I know you don't have to have one thing. I use Pomodoro, the Pomodoro technique, for particular things. In my case, I use a Pomodoro technique, and I have an app on my phone that I use. And I use it really for one particular thing. And that one particular thing is every week for the programs I'm running, I have to produce status reports that go to the client. For whatever reason, I can focus just in the 90 minutes every week that I give myself using the Pomodoro technique to produce those reports. Works wonders. I just know it works. One of my medical friends can probably tell me why, but it does. I don't really use it for much else, but for that one thing, the Pomodoro technique works magic in my life. So, you all know I love hearing you talk about your win, and I did a terrible job of placing myself. So start thinking and start putting in chat your win of the week so that we can share those. I already asked some people to learn to be kind to themselves. So your win of the week is one way you show that you are kind to yourself. And I am looking here at my note here it is. I knew I saw somebody else show up in the building, and I want to acknowledge her. Anne Marie Walker, welcome to this evening. So glad that you joined us. I was like, I thought I saw her fly in here. So we've already got a win of the week. And the win of the week is Mr. Strong says he was able to get some quality time in writing out his outline for an online course. Woo, you timed blocked. You time blocked and got it done. Awesome. That is an absolute win. Congratulations. And then Philip is here. Welcome, Philip. And you shared your win. You shared how you like to take notes. I like taking notes with Oxford Focus Notes writing pads, which are based on the Cornell note-taking system is the bomb. I use for work and for personal use. Awesome, awesome. That's a great one. And Tech Trouble, yes, you did. Tech Troublemaker had 3 phenomenal guests on his show on Tuesday night, and it was a very well done show, and the information was on point. So yes, that was amazing, and you did a fantastic job. And I want to acknowledge this young lady. And no reason to apologize, no reason at all. Glad that you made it for a portion of the show tonight. I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't miss somebody's win. And the emotional CEO says, I am a creatively and he's yelling, creatively structured person. I love and require order, but my creativity needs chaotic freedom. I'm going to be quiet on that one. I'm going to be quiet. I'm not even going to talk about it. So if you've taken these notes, you know the benefits. You now know you need to consider your calendar, your task management, your notes, and your project management. Those 4 components to make up your productivity system. In the month of June, we're going to walk through them. And another thing to think about is I give you your action steps. Y'all know. Don't show up and waste your time if you're not going to take action. And most YouTubers may not say that to you, but I really want you to get value. And one way you get value is by being willing to take action on the information that we share with each other each week. So your first step is determine the components of those 4. Maybe you add something that you want to add or improve in your system. If it's the way your calendar is working, or if it's your note-taking system, figure out what that is that you want to focus on in the month of June so that we can make sure we move you forward with that particular component. You may have one piece that's working really great and one part that I got to do a little work on it. So figure out what that component is. The next one is figure out the area that you want to work on. And let me explain by this. And James, I'm going to use your time blocking. If you want to work on your calendar and you want to give time blocking a try, but you've never done time blocking, then that's the area you want to work on. If you don't have a working calendar or a set of calendars that you consistently use and you know how they're set up, you know how you structure them, and by that I mean, I'll use me as an example. My calendar is color-coded. My business is one color. My spiritual ministry work is another color. My volunteer work is another color. So not only am I time blocking, but each of those have a color so I can visually see how much they're taking up in a week, in a month, in a day. So if you can work with colors, that may be an area you want to work on in terms of figuring out what those colors are that will function in your life. There's very specific colors, because I've used them so long, they have very definitive meaning for me. And so I always use those same colors. That's what I mean by selecting an area that you want to work on first, because you won't be able to work on all of it at the same time. Trust me, if you try, it won't work. You'll get frustrated and you'll stop. The third one is one that at least 2 people I know in the building with us are very big on, and that is choose an accountability partner. Choose someone that you trust, and you have a great relationship with, but someone who will tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And then go to work with them, meaning you share what your goals are, you share what your thing is you're working on, if it's your calendar, your note-taking system, whatever it is, and week to week, you say what you did, and they can help you stay on point and on track and be accountable for doing the thing that you said you were going to do long after the feeling you said it in has left. We make all kinds of commitments when we're excited and when we're inspired. And then when we get tired, we forget, we throw them out the window and go on to something else. An accountability partner will center you and bring you back to what that thing is that you said you wanted to accomplish and you wanted to do in your system. This one of the 3 action steps is probably the most important one. And I'm going to plug it because you can get mad at me and I don't care. Nothing you can do about it. If you want a really good tool, I'm going to actually share 2 with you. Really good tool to help you on this journey. One is the Focused on You planner. You can go to Amazon or you can go to hicksnewmedia.com and get it. Because every day it focuses your mind. It focuses your mind in a way that other things don't. The other one that you can use in tandem, and I'm not telling you something I don't know, they're actually in another room because otherwise I'd hold them up because I was using them in another room today, is the Power Play Planner, because it has information in it that focuses you a different way, especially if you're building a business. It has some very clear tips, strategies in it that if you're looking at them, and it'll focus you around those things. I use both of these together. They're part of a core part of my daily planning and a core part of my weekly review. They are kind of a accountability partner, because when I look back and go, ooh, I didn't do that, I didn't carry through, I got to deal with this. So those are some really good tools, because by the time you get to the electronic, you need to have done and have a way to do the thinking to make it all work for you. So that's what we've covered tonight. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Y'all are funny. The people in the building are funny tonight. Text says, I'm going to start doing speech to text notes. They are awesome. They do work really well. If you have a iPhone, there's a tool called Drafts. Fantastic text to speech. Fantastic. If you have an iPhone or an iPad, it works. It actually works on a Mac as well. So that's a good one. And I'm going to come back. I was looking because I thought I saw it. Philip developed your prototype for 5 videos for your upcoming channel. I learned much and can clearly see my channel now. Also got your wife involved. Yay! Congratulations. That's awesome. July, you got to tell us when it's coming and name, because we want to be there to support you. Week of July 2nd. Awesome. So everybody put this in your calendar, and let's remember to hold Philip accountable. The week of July 2nd, we will be there with you. And I'm not sure what I said. Lisa Marie, you said, say it again. I'm not even sure what you were talking about, but okay. Thank you so much. I think that's it. I don't see any other wins or comments that I've missed. So if you have any last minute questions, put them in. Last call for your questions. If you have not subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Share the videos on your social media platforms through email. You can just click on the little share button. You can email it. You can send it on Twitter, wherever you can copy and paste it and get it out. Subscribe and share. That's the best thing you can do. Y'all, you know I started late last year. My goal is to get to that first 100 subscribers, and I'm less than 25 people away. So subscribing would be a big help to the channel. So thank you all so much. And oh my goodness, thank you so much, Denise, for reminding people to hit the like button. Absolutely. Hit that like button if you've enjoyed this content tonight. That's all I got for you. I'm going to say have a great weekend. It's beautiful. Summer is here, although my birthday is actually the first official day of the summer. But summer is here. Enjoy the time with your family. No, I did not see your aha moment. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Denise. Projects move the business, not the day-to-day business. Thank you. I'm glad that was an aha moment. Yes, projects move the business, not the day-to-day operations. It's absolutely, absolutely the case. So glad. Thank you, Denise, from This and That with Denise Jordan, for calling that out and making sure that I saw it. So that's it for tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and get out of y'all's way and just say there will be a video link to the playlist for June here once this processes, and you can always subscribe. Have a great weekend, everybody. Good night.